I want to talk about creating flow in these swirls here using a veinner. So the veinner that we're going to be using is a size 0 lined and scalloped veinner from Barry King. Now, when we look at what we're doing here, you got to think about what's the overall goal. We don't want to just chunk this thing down in there just to make some marks in there, right? We're not after tool marks. We're about flow and being pleasing to the eye with what you're doing here. So when I look at this, couple big tips here. One, this is a common thing I see is which direction to have that turned as far as the curve on this. Right now you see that is curved around here. Line that up with the same way that your swirl's going, okay? So if this swirl's curving around here, then that curve needs to be going that way as well. That's a real quick, easy way to look at it. The next thing I see is a lot of people putting it down and hitting it either all the way flat, which then you see a really big tool mark, or coming on the inside. Now we got to think about what's the overall look that we're wanting to achieve here. Well, you're wanting to make this look like it's rounded and curving around there, right? So to get the rounded look, I want to bring it and tip that tool back to where we're just hitting with this point out here on the outside edge, and that's going to give it that domed look there. So if I tip that back like that, that's going to soften that edge and fade it out there. The next thing I want to do is rotate that tool around as we go with the curve, and that's going to help bring that around with the flow of that. I'm going to start back here, and we're going to start real light. And you can see as I fade that along, I'm looking for even spacing. I'm going to take a pause here. I'm looking for even spacing between where I'm putting that tool down. I don't want it random in there. I want it to be nice and even around there. But you can see as I'm coming around, I'm tipping and pointing to where these lines, as kind of a guideline, are pointing kind of towards this center right here. So if you followed my drawing course, we talk about that space filler and stuff. And if we have this space filler and we look for the center of that, that's where you're going to be pointing these veiners to as they roll around here. You can see still tipping that, but as I come around this wider spot here, I let just a little bit more of that veiner show, and that's going to help cause that to look rolled over there. So we'll keep rolling around here as we go. Okay, a couple other things to point out. You can see where I put this right out on that edge. I didn't hold it back in there because I want the idea of that to look like that veiner is rolling all the way over top of there. So run that veiner out to the end, fade that out there. Now here where we tucked under the border, I lightened up so it keeps that appearance that it's tucked down underneath there. That top edge is tucked down there. And then when it came back out of the border, picked it back up and hit it hard again.